Hi there. Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. I'm Bob. I know you're not expecting me this week. If you paid attention last week, we had some little quirks. It's okay. I'm here. We're going to make this all happen today. This is our weekly show. We give you 3 to 4 interesting tech topics. We get you on your way with a fun library fact. If there's something you want to see us cover one of these weeks, Creation Station at Broward.org comes right to me, and we'd be glad to try and get it onto the show. This week, I've got Miss Rebecca Stanfield. How are you doing, Becky?
I'm great. How are you?
I am feeling good. I think it's hilarious. You haven't been on the show for like a year and a half. The last time you were on the show, I was on spring break.
Exactly. And I remember meeting you in your living room again.
No, it's craziness. It's weird happenstance. I guess this is just what you and I just have to go away on vacation next time. That's it. That way, it'll be all fine. You're over at North Regional now as the acting head of youth services. Tell us about
Yep, that's where I'm at right now, North Regional Broward College Library.
that. Is an excellent. It's a really fun place up there. I opened up that library a million years ago. Uh, yeah, yeah, it's been a long time. But that's a really gorgeous place. You got a beautiful little children's section in there with all the teen. It's one of the nice teen rooms also out there in this places.
It is. We have a lot of space. We have a separate space for the teens, and we have a very bright, colorful, and fun section for the children. We have a lot of fun here, and we have an amazing collection and an amazing staff. So it's great
It's
to be
been
here. I've been having a lot of fun.
It was fun when I was out there over the summer. We had a lot of fun out there. It was cool doing some stuff. We've got some fun stories. We got some interesting fun stories this time today. I mean, they're always interesting, but these are more fun things, I think. I tend to think that we are just having more fun with these. So let's go along with where's my holy cow? I'm sorry. I think I deleted. No, I didn't. There it is. Okay. There we go. Okay. But now it didn't share. See, I'm just off. I'm just off. That's it. There we go. Now we're back. Now we're good to go. So, our first story today is about pizzas and robots. What do you think about this one, Becky? Do you think we can actually trust robot pizza?
You know, I think this is a pretty great idea because it's almost like they're 3D printing pizzas, but
They
instead
are.
of hot molten plastic, they're extruding sauce. Um,
Yep.
but I was looking at the video that they included with the article, and they were talking, it's not completely humanless. There are humans that work there. It's just the humans spend less time doing things like
Yeah.
putting the pizzas together, and they can spend more time and money on quality and other things like that. And with the
Yeah,
speed,
and if you're like, Bob, didn't you cover this? Or yes, we did, because this company's been around for a couple of years now, but they're actually open and putting out 300 pizzas an hour now at this location in New Jersey. And it's a regular, here's a picture of it actually there and working with the multiple things. So it can just go bam, 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 bam. Now, this does not, as you pointed out, you still need a human because someone's got to take it out of the machine. So you still need someone there to be able to do it. And this company that has gotten enough interest that another company has just gotten earlier last month, got another approval for this amazing little one. I'm going to show the video here really fast. It's a quick one. It
Make
is
your parking lot work for you.
all
Thanks to
right
an
there.
incredibly fast, delicious, convenient automated drive-in kitchen for the whole neighborhood. With easy install, easy operations, low overhead, and a small footprint, literally and energy-wise. Find out what we're cooking up at Speedy Eats.
That small. Any parking lot can have a pizza place now, or all sorts of other alternatives that you could do. All you need is a 16 by 8.5 by 8.5 space anywhere. Set up and off you go. So maybe that's the future of us, huh?
I think so. My only thought with the, a restaurant relying completely on something to like a robot to make the pizzas, what happens when you have that malfunction? Like,
Oh,
how do you work around that? Because, that machine is the star of the show. So,
yeah, and once it jams, you're done. Yeah, you need to fix it right then and there. 300 an hour is really, really fast. And yeah, that's way faster than you can do by hand anyway. So
now
it's
that
really
particular pizza place, they were saying still had some human involvement in making the pizza. Like if it wasn't a topping that was included in the machine, they put it on by hand. And they make the dough with another press. Or the pizza dough with another press. So it
Mhm.
wasn't just on that one machine, but that would definitely stall them out quite a bit if that machine stopped working in
Yeah,
some capacity.
I cannot imagine. Yeah, we did a episode. I think it was like last year, maybe not quite that long ago. Robotic hands. They had them practicing with making pizza dough, for to practice for surgery to be able to manipulate and do this stuff. Yeah, pizza's a big robotics thing for some reason. I'm happy with that. I'm pretty happy with more pizza.
I'd
We
be
do have
happy
another
with
robotic
that.
story here.
Uh-oh. I think we lost him again.
A cheetah goes as these are happening. So it keeps on, these are going to be really useful little tiny robots that can drop something off really fast inside of a body, go and do repairs, get in and doing even cleanup. They talk about in here ocean cleanup and ideas like that, where they could go in at any kind of space where you need a robot that can be really flexible to be able to go in and do stuff. What did you think about this one, Becky?
I thought that was really cool. And, the concept to me really makes sense. They were saying that the ultra fast robots, their bodies are soft. And if you look at animals, yes, we have bones, but we're not made of plastic and metal. We're made of soft tissue. And so using the soft products is what they're gonna, if they want it to be more human-like or more precise movements that we're looking for,
Yeah.
use the soft material.
And going back to the previous robot story, you can 3D print these out and it's because gallium melts at such a low temperature and tin melts at a very low temperature. You can do these just on the desktop anywhere that you need to be able to do this. You don't need some big foundry. You don't need anything to start making these. You can just be making these at the same temperatures that you would use for a soldering iron. So, of course, these nanoscale things at 2 millimeters, I'm not sure my skills with soldering iron are good enough to be able to manipulate that. But hey, somebody out there might very well be able to do that, right?
Yeah. I mean, and the thought of the medical advances that they can use with these robots is, it's non-invasive. And, where we have the small cameras that people can swallow like a pill, you're stuck with like a static image or whatever that camera
Mhm.
captures. But to be able to manipulate and move it around and see exactly where you want to see or get to wherever you want to go, exactly where you want to go, like I think that's amazing technology.
Yeah, it's going to be really good for us. It's going to be really useful to so many different applications that it's going to really help us with. And then there's another automation one, and I think you found this story for us, Becky, about the just walk out tech being used out there in the football stadium now. What tell us about what you thought about this?
I thought it was a great idea. And actually, I've seen it recently. I had taken the Brightline, and they have a similar type of kiosk up in the Brightline station. And I thought it looked pretty cool. I wondered how it went, but thinking in the bigger scale about like stadiums where you expect to wait in these
Yeah.
huge long lines, now you can just kind of walk in, do quick shopping, and get back to your seat. So
Yep.
I think that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and I think it's really amazing that we've come this far in just a couple of years with this, where, like you said, maybe if you're going to have it at a small location, I mean, the very first one that opened up on an Amazon campus, only employees could use only. Now they're just like, here we go, Seahawk fans, walk in, get your stuff, and walk right out. It's pretty amazing how quick they've got this up. You do need to pre-register to use it. So you need to be able to either have your credit card that you're going to be using in the space pre-registered with them, or you have to give it your biometrics and put your handprint there, and let Amazon have your biometrics.
I was reading some articles too, a little bit about the how it works, because my first thought was just using RFID tags.
Uh-huh.
But then I was looking at it and I was like, no, it's much more advanced. They use AI and cameras and sensors everywhere,
Yeah.
and they're basically following you around, watching what you're taking off. And then you can even put stuff back on the shelf and it will
Hmm.
recognize that you didn't actually purchase that project.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how well it works. And this is really interesting. I wonder if they'll ever release the data on how how much this loss in shrink they have or something like this. Shrink is, inventory loss kind of stuff versus what they would normally get in a store like this, especially anything that has anything this huge crowd like this. But we do have one other story that's along these same lines. These all tied in together so well today. Is right along that whole biometrics and all that idea. Is we talked last week, or no, 2 weeks ago, about using DNA to discover who was in this well in England from 800 years ago, and tying that into the um, Ancestry or 23andMe to find relatives and stuff like that. You mentioned in the pre-show about the idea of finding people by just combing through the public data that's there in 23andMe and Ancestry, and finding relatives and using that data to match up against existing things. However, this is a different twist on that, where someone, excuse me, who submitted a rape kit, and so her DNA was in the database because of that. The police then took, because she was the victim of a crime, took her DNA and then went to go search if she had committed any crimes also, and matched her up with something that way. Tell me what you think, Becky.
That one, yeah, that one kind of shocked me a little bit because when you're submitting your data, your DNA for being a victim of a crime, you know, you're consenting for that as a victim to turn around and then match you to a crime using that same information that you gave. It's just that doesn't sit well.
Yeah. And now San Francisco Police Department says they do not do this anymore. However, we are going to have to see, because there's a bill that just passed in California to ban the practice altogether. has not been signed. It's not an official law yet, and it's only California. This is not the rest of the country, the rest of the world. But yeah, I mean, if you just dump the same data into the same database and you start comparing it to everybody, you're just gonna have this like the victim's stuff in there, just like if they were a perpetrator somewhere. And that's just horribly, horribly wrong.
I
And
think the biggest problem that I see with it is that it's going to keep people from wanting to report crimes,
yeah,
and especially vi some pretty violent crimes, because they're afraid that maybe they are going to get caught on, that shoplifting or,
yeah,
something pretty minor that, so you're getting people to not report the serious crimes because they're scared of
yeah,
something small.
yeah. And yeah, it's a horrible, horrible thing that and nobody should ever be thought about that way. But it's in the news, so I wanted to bring it up for this here today to remind everybody that, be cautious and think about what you're doing with your biometrics. Yes, maybe it's nice to have your palm print registered with Amazon so that you can just put your palm down and walk into a store and buy anything. But maybe you want to make sure where that database is located and who's sharing those databases with who, your 23andMe, your Ancestry, etc. All of those things.
Yeah,
Think,
do you really, you really have to kind of think about exactly where that information,
yeah,
might be shared because you're consenting to it for Amazon, but is Amazon going to link up with police departments and say like, hey, let's look for fingerprints?
yeah, 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 yeah. It's going to be an interesting life. We have an interesting future coming up. It's lots of new cool stuff happening and some scary potential twists to it all. So yeah.
And
Um,
privacy is an all-time important thing to think about, but there's a fine line between, you have to really consider like, okay, how much do you want to hide from, technology and these new cool things coming out, and how much do you want to protect your privacy?
yeah,
It's a fine line to walk.
yeah. I mean, I have no biometrics. I do not allow any biometrics on none of my devices. It's type in passwords and type in, for everything. There's no fingerprint, no facial recognition, no nothing on any of my devices, on my computers. I don't even let them save the passwords. I have to manually type those out every time just because I'm paranoid that way. Um, but yeah, another topic for another day, I bet.
Right?
I imagine we're going to get another one of these stories. Um, Two quick library facts for everybody here, really, really fast. I want to share this one here, which is Conference on Children's Literature. This is coming up next Friday. So if you are, this is an in-person event. So hopefully you're in South Florida or you can make it down here. It's on a Friday. So if you're coming from out of the area, you can always come on down, make it a weekend. But it is any librarian should be at this conference. Any teacher, any media specialists in the school systems should definitely try and make this conference. If you're a homeschooler, this is all about all of the latest up-to-date stuff on what's happening with creators, what's happening in library and with children's literature and everything that's going on. Starts at 8:30 in the morning, runs till 4 in the afternoon. If you're watching this, scroll by here for all of these various authors. I'll scroll back by there again for you so you can see all of these people that are going to be on the panels, that are going to be doing signings, they're going to be doing stuff. And oh, by the way, this is the library, so it's free. Show up. You want to come, you want to be here for this. It is going to be an amazing stuff. Right, you're going to come, right, Becky?
Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it because
Oh,
I want my staff to be able to
well,
attend.
there you go. That's a
So,
great thing.
so
It's a
my
great thing.
staff will be
Send your
attending
staff
and I'll
instead.
be here manning the library.
That is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm going to be having our new cobot, our robot to assist the customers, is going to be featured on the third floor that day too. So people will be able to come and see us when we're doing that. And you had a really great um, thing to show people. Let me bring it up for you. So it's right here under on when you come to the new library page. It's got a new look, but it's the same thing, broward.org/library. When you come here to online resources, that list of all of our online resources is the fastest way I always find for things. And this one right here, Becky, tell us about BrainFuse.
BrainFuse. BrainFuse actually offers a lot of services. The one thing that people use the most and love is the free online tutoring. It's available from, I believe, 11 a.m. to 11:55 p.m. every day, and they will connect you with live tutors that can offer help, I believe, grades K through 12.
Yep.
And then there's other aspects that you can use that outside of that time. But there is a skill surfer, and so it has like lessons in different grades of math. They even have life skills, things such as productivity, study skills, financial planning, and everything. So it's got a great resource for students K through
They'll
12
help them
and
write.
even
They will help
college.
students deal with writing their papers. You can turn in your paper to them and have them edit, read it, and give you feedback on your paper.
Yeah, and
Now,
we have, if you have, math that you just can't figure out because it's not done the way that you did it, and, your kid says, I don't know what to do, you can go and you can connect with a teacher. Most of these are teachers,
they're all teachers.
all
All these
teachers.
people that are on there are all fully certified. They have to go through this rigorous process to do it. I've seen some of the stuff from them. Yeah, no, this is an amazing service that we pay for, and the library pays for it for you. It's all free. All free
All
of your life.
free. It has language learning, everything. So go in and check it out and look around. I know for adults, they even have resume writing and other, job hunting
Yeah.
resources too. So it's not just for kids, but live tutoring and skill surfer is geared towards the kids, but they do have stuff for adults as well.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff. We went on and on and on here. We got to get out of this here and let people go back to their lives. Let me throw up this slide. So thank you so much, Miss Becky, for being here with us today. And nope, man, today is a day, huh? There we go. Now we're sharing the right screen. There we go. So, if you have a favorite librarian or library that you'd like to see featured on the show, Creation Station at broward.org comes right to me, and we'll try to get them on. Thank you, everybody, for being here today, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.